Hello guys, this side Karan Sharma. I hope you're all doing pretty well. And today we are here to learn DevOps, right? So this is the very first session of DevOps. And in this session, we'll be talking about a lot of things that comes under this particular technology. Um, why it is so much popular, why, people are, hiring the DevOps engineers, why there is demand for the DevOps job roles into the market. Okay. First, just before starting with the session, I just want you to ask yourself that why you want to learn DevOps, right? Because some people are not very much clear about the thing, right? They simply think that they don't need to. Some people are from the coding background, and they don't like coding that much, and they come and join the DevOps course. They want to join the DevOps course because from somewhere they have heard that they don't need to learn a lot of they don't need to remember a lot of things. So that kind of mentality people have. you know from my point of view, to learn a particular technology, you have to dedicate your 100% into it, right? And you have to give a reasonable amount of uh, reasonable amount of time, and in the process, by which only you can access that whether you are capable enough of doing that course or not, right? So before just going into a particular course or just opting a particular course, ask yourself that why you want to do this. Okay, why you want to. There are some people who are not satisfied with their salaries and all. They want to come into IT domain, and they think that DevOps is something which they can learn from the very best basic, and the prerequisite is not required. Okay, it is true, you don't need to have some degree related to it. You can be from non tech background, because the DevOps itself has emerged very recently. Okay, so there are not many experienced DevOps engineers out there in the market. So that's why there is no prerequisite, or most many companies don't ask for the relevant job experiences for the same, right? So yes, this is true. And yes, in the coding background, if you'll go as a fresher, okay, you first of all, you need to survive initial years, maybe with some very small amount of packages. And some people can get good number of packages also, but uh, those who are from tier 3 colleges, who are from maybe non tech background, they don't get even chance to appear in the interviews and all. But in these field, like DevOps and all, you get the opportunities very quickly if you have the right skill sets, right? So yes, your why should be very clear. Okay, so let me share you my screen. I want to just tell you something related to the domain, right? So I'm opening up my paint. All right, so it would be easy for me to explain how the whole thing. Okay, in a very concise and in a very informative way, and then in a very descriptive manner, right? So every person has should be has ha, should be having two sort of skill sets. First is the hard skill, and the other's skill should be the soft skill, to grab the opportunity in the job market, right? So coming to the soft skill, I'm telling about the soft skill first. Soft skill means how you can communicate with others, how you can tell your thoughts, your your ideas, how you can influence others, right? Not I'm not telling about the manipulation and all. I'm just simply telling about how you can make other people to come into the point where he or she is understanding what you want to convey, basically, right? It doesn't also, it is not required that you need to have a good level of English. You need to have like Shashi Tharoor level of vocabulary you should use. It is not like that. It is just simply how you can execute your thoughts, your ideas to others, right? So that is very much important in the job market, because in a job, right, if you work in a closed environment, and closed environment with a team, so there are teammates you will have, you cannot work isolated in a isolated environment. So there should be a team spirit you should have. You need to have some leadership skills to manage a handful number of team members in under your belt, right? So that is very much required. And the second thing is hard skill. What hard skill you have, right? Yes, talking about hard skill, it is basically maybe what domain you are good at, right? From which domain you are good at. Like let us suppose there's an electrician, right? So he is doing the work of he is maintaining the electrical department around his areas, right? If any any mishappen or any report, any person calls him for any particular reason, maybe he wants to add something into his home related to the appliances and all. So first of all, he needs to be very soft spoken. He needs to be very he needs to have the soft skill, how he can communicate with others, right? So how he can market himself in front of others, because in any job market there is a lot of competition out there, right? So if you, in the first place, if you would not be able to communicate that you are the best among the others, no one will you know will just pay you for your skill, because no one will get the confidence that you will actually have the good skill set that can resolve their issues. And the second thing is hard skill, of course. Let us suppose if a electrician is going to uh, going to manage some appliances and all, and he fits the wires and the things which are in the different form, or you can say in the incorrect way, right? And maybe it can possibly cause an hazard and all those kind of situations. So no one wants to hire that kind of electrician, right, with that kind of history. So yes, that is the hard skill that the organization requires. Now, talking about what companies look for, the how companies hire the for these or any kind of job roles. Basically they hire from by the reference. Okay, reference of reference that they get from their candidates, right, who are already working out there. And they, if they refer to someone, like he or she is good at this, you can refer. So company gets an idea that yes, if he is doing well and he is referring to someone, then the person should be having that kind of skill set, required skill set that the company actually needs. So that level of confidence that the companies get. And the second option that the companies has is by uh, having a good LinkedIn account, right? They check the LinkedIn, they hire from LinkedIn, right? uh, they hire from LinkedIn, right? They simply post their job openings from in LinkedIn, and whatever the skill sets they are demanding for, and they hire for the from its it is like just like that, right? And the third one is like job, like other job portals that are there where you can share your resumes, CVs, like Monster, or job Naukri, these kind of job portals where the candidate can put his experience or his skill sets, he can mention over there, right? So in that way companies hire the required candidate, right? So let's move further. Yes, so coming up to the, yes, we are learning the IT industry, right? So with the IT only, we know about what is IT is information technology, right? Which is related to computers, right? So in information technology, in the IT domain, there are mostly the I'm not I'm not excluding other technologies, but I'm just including those technologies which are very much required and which are very much important to build a IT industry, right? So every IT company will be having their product, okay, which will be listed over on the internet, right? So internet, that you already know, the interconnected networks in different computers from one to another, right? So they will be having some product or application, app or product. Okay, so product, right? To develop the app or product, they need to create the application, they need to have the programmers, right? To develop with programmers, right? They will be having programmers, in their organization. Also, uh, the programmers, what programmers does is, what they do is basically they build the website or the application software, right? So yes, they build, let's take the example of Amazon.com. Amazon is the very large, very huge uh, market where people buy and purchase products through the help of internet, by the help of their website, by the help of their applications, right? So yes, all has been made by the programmers. The front end, back end, the databases, everything are managed by the programmers and all, right? The database and engineers. So and the other part which I want to include here is operations. There is one department that I've included, that is technique, application or product, the programmers team and the operation team. Okay. Okay, so yes, what is the work of operation? Basically, operations team try to deploy the particular product or application on a particular server. Okay, so yes, I'll be coming up to the terms, that server and all, right? So operations is what basically they need to put that particular software into a particular place where it can be accessible to each and every person, where they want to where they want it to be accessible, right? So let us take the example of Amazon again. The programmers have built the software, and then they listed on the particular place where we as a consumer, we are able to take the services of Amazon, right? So with the help of software, we are all able to access the Amazon app or Amazon website. So it is placed over a particular server. Okay, so now we'll come up to what is server. Basically, server is basically a computer, right? Which serves, okay, if I'm serving something to you, I'm also a server, right? I am giving something to you, that means that I am a server for you. Okay, so server is basically not it is it is not anything else, just a computer which actually provide the accessibility of the product to each and every person which the company wants. Okay, to whom the company wants, right? So server basically works in that way, right? So yes, so it is clear. Okay, what is server, what is operations? Okay, how the programmers work, right? So earlier what used to happen was, in IT industry there were some okay, just I'm just rubbing this out. In IT industry, what used to happen was, company used to have his own server. Okay, okay, basically it used to have his bare metal. Now what is bare metal? Okay, what is bare metal? Bare metal is nothing but a computer, right? So a physical computer. Okay, so earlier what used to happen was, the companies which actually deploys the software or the products on their own computers, by which they can access by the single computer. Okay, with the help of single computer, they can access the product. Like let us say there's a computer which is server. Okay, it is a server, and with the help of this server, the employee, it used to place over in the office of that particular organization. So this used to call the on premises servers, right? For that, Now, if there are some employees who are working on this software, there are who are connected with this, okay. And there are some, let us say, there are some employees, and there are some people, normal people who used to use the product, the online product, right, with the help of this server. So the requirement of this server was to don't be they need to switch on that particular server for the whole for 24 hours, okay. For they cannot shut it down in any way possible, right. So the uptime should be the best for this kind of servers, and the companies need to manage these servers in various forms, like they need to create the AC rooms to manage the heat of that server, that particular computer, because if any computer runs on the electricity, right. So they need to there's a lot of pressure that the server is holding, okay. That the server was holding back then. And the server were used to be like in the size of a room at that particular point of time. And there used to be they need to put a proper AC, right, to manage the heating, okay. They need to they need to have the team of like admins, right, server admins, okay. uh, Team of admins, okay. So that was the case back then, right. And it used to cost a lot to a organization to manage and to run a proper server inside their uh, you know inside their organization as an infrastructure cost, okay. The if let us say if I want to start my online business back then, okay, if I wanted to start my online business back then, so I needed to own a server room, I needed to own a whole server, I needed to employ the server admins, I need to deploy the ACs and all those kind of things. Okay, so these were the on-premises servers that used to we call it on-premises server, right? So in that, it was very costly back then to afford. And let us say if the online product doesn't perform well, okay, in any case, then the whole cost to run a server and all to to put the server inside their building, okay, to host the server. So it was a very costly business back then, okay. There was a lot of risk of losses earlier, okay, due to this, okay, due to the on-premise servers, right. So these are the basically, right, on-premises server. Now let's come up to the other type of then we due to these issues, okay, due to these disadvantages, okay, we moved up to this. This is called data centers, okay. So here what data center used to do is they used to own different configurational servers by their own, okay, and they used to rent it. Let us I want to give a very beautiful example of it. Back then when we used to watch movies, when we wanted to watch movies, we needed to go to the CD, DVD or VCR store, right, at that point of time. So uh, if we want to watch a particular movie, let us say any XYZ movie, so we needed to purchase the whole did we purchase the whole CD for lifetime? No, we used to rent it, right? So there was a proper CD store, and yes, we used to purchase the CDs also. Maybe we like the movie too much, and we want to make a collection at that. At, that could be an individual, separate topic. But what I used to do is I used to rent it, and I used to rent it in a small fraction of amount, and I used to pay to the CD owner, and again after watching the movie, after watching the content, after enjoying the content, I used to give it back to the CD store. You right, the CD stores. Okay. So here also there this concept came into picture, that there used to be a server, whole server infrastructure that a individual was holding. Okay. And with the help of it, right, with the help of these data centers, what used to happen is, if I want to purchase a particular server, right, like I want 2 GB of RAM, what 256 GB of hard disk, or let us say at 8 GB of RAM, or 8 GB of RAM and 256 GB of hard disk, right? So I just need to call to these data centers owners, and they used to provide us in that way, right? They used to separate, there are different configuration that they used to have, like they used to have 8 GB, you know they used to have 4 GB as per the requirements, right? They used to own different configurational servers, right? And they used to rent it. Okay. And it is also, it is a profitable business for them also. Okay, because they are renting it. Okay. And it is profitable for us as a website owner or the application owner too, because he or she, let us say if the business doesn't perform well, let us say uh, after 2 months he or she can you know yes, so he or she can just simply give the rent, and you know uh, provide the configuration back to the original owners, to the data center owners, right? Then also, at that point of time also, they're used to have different computers, for different configurations. They used to own different computers, right? uh, and it was also, a lot of it, though it was better than on premises servers, but for data center owners it was also a costly investment, right? So later on, what happened was, there's a concept came like of virtualization, right? So in virtualization, what happened, in virtualization, with the help of a particular software, okay, we can call it hypervisor. Hypervisor, okay, we can call it hypervisor. With this, let us say this is a configurational server of 8 GB and 256 GB HDD. Hope you got it. 8 GB is the RAM and 256 is the ROM, right? So there's a, maybe let us suppose that the organization, the data center organization, is having a server that is having the configuration of 8 GB of RAM and 256 GB of hard disk. Here, what used to happen was this, this used to, with the help of hypervisor, they used to divide the configurations. They can divide the physical machines into virtual machines. Okay, so basically they are not dividing or not cutting it down. Okay, basically it is not possible in any way. Okay, they used to divide it with the help of hypervisor. We used to create virtual machines inside this, right? Like one virtual machine here, okay, of 4 GB divided 8 divided by 4, sorry, 8 divided by 2. Okay, they used to create 4 GB, and let us say 128 HDD, right? Here also the remaining 4 GB. With the help of hypervisor, they used to create the virtual machines. Okay, the virtual machine is nothing but the computers. Okay, different computers. Inside a computers, we are creating computers with the help of hypervisor, and we are dividing it. Okay, not in physical form, but in virtual form. Okay, it was possible with the help of hypervisor. And then they used to rent it to, let us say, it has rented to A. They have rented this to A, and let us say they have rented this to B. So it was possible to just divide one computer in two fractions with the help of hypervisor in virtual form, and they both can work on different in different ways, right? They both can serve for the different websites. They can both serve for the different web application that used to happen, okay, with the help of hypervisor, right? So yes, this was the you know game changing thing that introduced at that point of time, okay. Then there's a concept came after we used to have this if, these servers, right? But here also there was some lacking at that point of time, in that if the person wants a particular machine or a particular computer for a particular configuration, he needed to wait for some time, or he needed to pay for the whole month, okay, even though he wants to just host his website for 3 4 days, है ना? So like that, he needed to pay for the whole month and all, like. So then there's a some players, like came into existence, like they were called the cloud providers, right? So basically it was just like the cloud providers also use the bear this hypervisor, okay. It With the help of this hypervisor, what happened was, you can own a single computer, okay, small computer, and you can just divide that computer into virtual form, which can reduce your cost, the infrastructure cost, the AC, the cooling, right? The admins, the team of admin that you used to have, the runtime, it got improved. So when the cloud came, the issue related to this this virtualization, okay. I'm not able to write this, okay, though with the help of this they were able to provide the on demand services, okay. Okay, basically, if you, let us say, if you have hosted your website or web application into a particular, virtual machine of a cloud provider, right? So sometime, let us say, there is a lot of load, that you are observing on a particular day. Let us take the example of big billion day sales, okay. So if we take the example of big billion day sales, then then the count of customers is very much higher than the normal days. So in that way, they used to automatically rescale their infrastructure, with the help of AI ML. They introduced in cloud services, okay. Amazon uses AI and ML, and which can works upon automation, okay. So it helped in that way, and also it also given one more it also provided one more benefit to the customers, like pay as you go service, right? Okay, so pay as you go service, that has been also provided by the cloud providers, where you need to just pay for, if you want to rent a particular machine on cloud. So you have to just pay a small fraction of amount. Let us say you want to pay for 3 days only, so you can pay for 3 days. It is not necessary you need to buy for you need to rent it for the whole month, okay. uh, Even to make a, if we take the example of Google, Amazon web services, to create a free account out there, you just have to pay 2 rupees of amount, right? Where you can just if you want to learn it, okay, later on we'll talk about it. So it will only charge you 2 rupees, so in Indian rupees, right? So that it is very low cost, okay, to maintain it. To if you want to learn something from it, you don't need to pay for the whole month, okay. So these things, the cloud came into existence like this from on-premises, from data centers, from virtualization. Then the cloud providers came into existence. Now I want to rub all this. Yeah, I have to increase the size now. This will work. I don't think so. I need to undo this. Okay, fine. So yes, then what happened is we have talked about the hypervisor, right? What hypervisor does, hypervisor basically divides the computer to two parts, right? Then yes, okay, fine. Now, so yes, so yes, so these we have came over to the cloud service providers, right? Okay, so here we had, we had provided two options, like auto scaling was there. Okay, where we don't need to if we, let us say there is huge crowd which has, which is accessing our website or application for a particular day. Okay, so we don't need to, you know we know don't need to keep a check that, now we need to increase the size of our the configuration. With the help of cloud providers, it used to auto scale. Okay, so there are two types of auto scaling, okay, of servers. One is horizontal, okay, and the second one is vertical. Okay, in horizontal, basically horizontal means to horizontal means to increase the number of servers. Okay, here let us say if one server is dead, okay, and we have deployed our application in both the servers, so the other server is also running at the same time, so downtime, is very less into this kind of facility, right, in the horizontal scaling. And in the vertical scaling, we are increasing the size of a particular configuration. Okay, with the help of auto scaling, of course. Okay, let us say it was initially it was 4, and someday the number of customers increased, and it used to come into 10 GB. Okay, and if it is again, it is increased or lowered, it used to go higher, or it used to come back. And it used to, by automation, it used to identify the number of, the scalability, what scalability is it actually requires. Okay, by that, the you can say, by that also, that also included, that also provided the facility to handle the high traffic. Okay, with the help of virtual scaling, right? Now let's come up to the topic of operating system. Okay, now what I need to do is, I need to renew this. Okay, okay, so what is operating system? Okay, so operating system is a proper system which provides the interaction between the user and the computer. Okay, it is a software, basically a software which provides the interaction between the hardware and the user. If I want to, you know uh, do if I want to make my thing work in a particular, on a particular hardware, on a particular bare metal. Okay, without a software, a computer is a bare metal. Okay, so if I want to execute something into my computer, i get the I can get it done by with the help of operating system. Okay, and it is made up of two things, right? Kernel, which is the heart of the operating system, and the application softwares, right? All right. So operating system is made up of two things. Okay. So kernel is the is the collection of drivers. And what is collection of drivers? It is the uh, written code, okay, for different to perform different activities and tasks inside the computer, right? Collection of drivers. And the application software is, let us say, if we use Mac, we will get to see that, we'll get to see browser, different browser. And if we will use Windows, we'll get to see different browser out there. So why it is different? Because of the application software which are there, that differentiate one operating system from one to another, basically, right? So it is like that. Now, there are different types of operating system are also there. Okay. First one is, we all are very aware of it, Windows. Okay. Second one is Linux, right? And the third one is Unix. Okay. That is Mac. Okay, basically. So we'll talk about Windows first. So Windows is very much, user friendly. It is very much graphical based. We already know. Okay. And also user friendly it is, because we all are using Windows. If you want to, start, if you want to go to a start button, we can simply click on start and we can, power off, power on. We can do anything with the help of mouse. Okay. So it is very user friendly, basically, right? Windows is. And but the problem with Windows is, it is first, it is not open source system. I'll tell you what is open source is. Basically, open source system is that system which provides the which provides its code. Okay. In what way the code has been written over there. Okay. The code behind, the operating system which is running in the system, it has a code. Okay. Basically it is running with a proper programming and all. Okay. So Windows is not an open source. So the owner of Windows, the Microsoft, okay, they don't provide the codes uh, written behind the operating system. By that you cannot you cannot made some change, you cannot make the changes, or you cannot modify it according to your need, basically, right? Also, if you will purchase Windows, it will cost you around 15K or something. Okay. A licensed Windows, right? So it would be a very costly, if any organization will purchase Windows, if the organization will buy the Windows for their operational purposes. Okay. To run their day-to-day task. Okay. To provide to purchase the license for many employees at the same time. So yes, in that way it is not that much secured also, because everything is in the hand of the other party which is owning Windows, right? You cannot make the changes. If there is any bug comes in your system, you cannot check where the bug is actually, or if there is any virus which is there which is affecting your system, you cannot check the viruses, right? So in that way Windows failed. Okay. Fails in the organization if the organization is using Windows. But if we come to Linux is an open source system. Okay, there are different distribution of Linux, like Fedora, Ubuntu, or Red Hat, Kali Linux, right? There are different, RHEL. Okay, Reddit. I have told the latest version of Reddit is version 9. Okay, so it's an open source system which is provided by the Linux. So what happens is, open source means the every which everything which is which is there in the operating system, you can execute it and you can modify it according to your need. You can change the application software according to your need and make it your own. Okay. There are different Android phones, okay, that we have, like we have the Android phones of Mi. We have the Android phones of like Google, right? So basically they they use their Android phones are also the Linux based operating system. They use the Linux based operating system. Okay, by changing the application software, by modifying the provided open source code, they can change their system into a different level, right? So by that you can do it. And also the partition system is also there in the Linux. Okay, every data, okay, like there is different type of data, okay, booting, okay, booting related softwares are there, okay, related data. In Linux we'll call it data. I'll tell you later on. Okay, everything is written on a file. Okay, so booting related data is there. There are system related data. Okay, okay, there are server related data. Data would be there. So there are different types of data would be there. They have the different partitions, so they are isolated which with each and other, right? In Windows, everything is contained over the C, and C used to C manages the whole system. And if there is any bug or any virus comes into C drive, then it can corrupt the whole system, right? But in Linux it can be very much identify, you can identify the virus or bug. Okay, if there is any bug into your system, you can identify it very easily because it is open source. Okay, you can check the codes. Okay, and at the same time it is isolated from one each other, so it cannot affect the other partition, right, the other system, okay, which is performing some other activities. Okay, and coming up to Unix, there is a different type of operating system which is called Unix. Basically Mac is one of the example which is using Unix, okay, for their operating purposes. So Unix is again, it is a reliable and secure, but it is not open source. Okay, it is secure than Windows, but it is very much costly. Okay, the operating system is very much costly and it is very much hardware dependent. Okay, so all in all, to for an organization to run and to manage a proper infrastructure, to manage the day-to-day task, it is very important to use Linux, right? So it is like that. Okay, so I hope that the this operating system concept has been clear to you. So yes, let's remove this, and I'll tell you about the file system now. There are we'll definitely talk about DevOps. Okay, but first we need to identify the things. What are the terms, what you call a particular, you need to very much aware about some terms and terminologies. That's why I'm giving this lecture, to make you understand what is it. Okay, what is operating system is all about, what is server is all about, what was the history of server, what are the different type of operating system that we are using, and so yes, it is very important to before going to DevOps and all, it is very important that no one teaches, they directly jump into DevOps. Will definitely will go into the DevOps side also, but first let's understand the file system, right? So what is file system? Basically, file system is, defines the Linux system, right? In what way Linux operating system is distributed. Okay, so everything is data. Okay, inside the operating system, everything is written in a particular format, in a particular file. Okay, so data is there in the hard disk. Okay, hard drive. So basically will make a rectangle like this. There are different sort of, you can see different sort of different sort of these small sectors, okay, in a particular hard drive, right? So all of these sector will contain 4 KB of data. Okay, so yes, so if I'll tell you about this system, why I'm talking about this file system. If you will if you will delete a particular file from a particular hard drive, or from a particular any type of CD, or DVD, or any pen drive, uh, it 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 doesn't it doesn't delete the data. It just removes the connection of the data from this layer. I'll tell you how. Okay, if you are not getting it, I'll tell you. I'll make it easy for you. Okay, there is basically what happens is um, what you need to do. There is a proper I'm not good with this paint. I think I need to use uh, I think I need to use this pencil. Okay, fine. So it will have the capability. Every sector, every this block will have the capacity of holding 4 KB of data, right? So if we delete any particular data, okay, there is a proper if we'll if we'll open a book, you can go to a particular section of a chapter by the help of the index which is provided in the book. Okay, like that also every data has its index. Okay, that is called the inode number of that particular block. Okay, every block has its index. Okay, identity. Okay, which is given in numbers. All right, so which is given in the numbers. Okay, so yes, 1 2 3. Okay, every block has its identity which is associated with the help of its numbers, right? Now every number has its file file name, right, which we can see, which we can see right, name 1, name 2, and just like name 3. Okay, so when we delete a data, okay, when we delete something, like let us say name 1 is the a particular movie which was there in my hard drive, and I deleted it. Okay, which was there. Okay, so it basically disconnects it, the connection between the inode number and the number. Okay, so sorry, inode number and the name. Okay, it removes the name. Okay, but the inode number gets free. Okay, and when we delete it, when we completely delete the whole system, the whole data from our system, basically it creates it erases the connection between this inode number. Okay, it erases the connection of this name. Okay, we cannot see the name, but the inode number gets free. Okay, now the inode number gets free, and the new layer of this block come over the another blocks. Okay, when we delete something, and if and new these blocks will also have its inode number. Okay, and if we able to make a connection between this inode number, and if we identify or able to make the connection between the inode number and this particular block, okay, by some application or something like that, okay, data recovery application, we can regenerate the data. Okay, we can basically we can regenerate the data, and this is what is done by the these okay I mean these file recovery application softwares. Okay, so basically the data doesn't get deleted. Okay, it just get overlapped by the new blocks. Okay, with the new blocks. Okay, and if we are somewhere, if we are able to new blocks with new inode numbers, right, sorry, the inode number doesn't get free. It just break the links between the names and this inode number, and if we if we it generates the new blocks, and these new blocks will have new inode numbers, and the already there was a proper you know sector was there behind it. So if we in some way if we are able to connect that inode number with a particular file name, okay, then we can recover the old data also. So that is the process of recovering data. Okay, that is the process of file system and its architecture. Okay, I hope it is clear to all of you. So it was not that much complicated, but I hope that I haven't complicated for this topic to you also. Okay, so yes, removing this now. Sorry. So there's a proper I think there's a limit that you can go for to undo the just I need to remove like this. Okay, fine. It will just take some time. Okay, let it be. Mm. I don't know. I'm not good with paint, but yeah, I'll try to just, you know, I don't know how to increase the size of this tool. Okay, let's come up to the another topic. Okay, in the file system we have talked about. Okay, and you know, there's also one thing that do you know that how much 1 GB contains how much MB? Okay, you know that most of you will tell me that 1 GB will contain 1024 MB, right? According to you, I think that most of you will have this common misconception that you will have. I'll tell you. I'll just simply Google it. Okay, I'll just simply Google it and I'll show you the result. Okay, you can see 1 GB is 1000 MB. It is not 1024. Okay, one, if you go to the GB byte, but where it is GB byte to the MB byte, where it is, sorry, here it is. It is 1 GB byte is 1024 MB byte, right? It is not a gigabyte. Okay. First of all, we need to understand this common, rectify this common misconception that we have. Okay. So yes. So when we purchase a pen drive of 8 GB, it is written over that it is 8 GB, but actual size when we plug into the computer, it shows the size to like 7 point something GB, because our system reads it into the GIB system. Okay, and 1 GIB, 8 GIB contains how many? If, our system reads it in the GIB, and okay, so it will showcase us, um, if we will transfer this 8000 MB byte, 1000 MB byte, sorry, not me, here it is, where it is, MB byte to uh, GB byte. Okay, it will showcase around this. Okay, so our system reads in MB bytes and GB bytes. Okay, so that's why it is not actually 1024 for 1 GB. It is 1000 for 1 GB, and for 8 GB it is 8000, and it will read us, it will provide the actual value of around this. And some data is also get uh, you know consumed in the creating inode number and all. Okay, if you completely just though it doesn't take that much of data. So this reading pattern, that differs from that is actually different from one to another. That's why we get a different, we always get less number of GBs, okay, than we expect. So yes, it is the reason and logical reasoning behind it. Okay, so yes, here we are clear with this. Okay, now I'll come up to this topic. Um, Also, there is called that 100 Mbps of speed you will get, and but you will get around sorry, 100 Mbps. They say that they will give you 100 Mbps. Okay, mega this megabit megabit per second, right? But actually, when we download something or when we upload something, it provide the reading into byte. Okay, so 1 byte is that provides the reading into byte b, bigger b. Okay, so 1 byte actually is the 8 bits. Okay, that's why it shows around less. If you can simply just calculate, uh, if there is 100, 100 divided by 8, can simply just get 12.5 or something Mbps of speed. If they are just telling you that you will get 100 Mbps of speed or something like that number they will provide, that is because this marketing tactics. Okay, you can ask to your network provider why it happens. They will, maybe they will able to give you the answer. uh, Maybe they won't, but you can ask, right? Yes. So here is the case for telling. Now I hope you are all clear with this. Now, now I will tell you that in Linux. Okay, I'll tell you about Linux a little bit more. Okay, there are different partition system that we have in Linux. Like there's a master system which contains the master data, like just like C drive, right? The administrator data. Okay, in C we have the administrator data. In like there is a different partition that is there, which is boot. Okay, which contains the booting related data. Okay, sorry. And there is different, there is called home/home, that has the user related data. Okay, if there is any new user, there are different types of user. First of all, for any particular system, there is a master user, there is a system user, and there is uh, a local user which is there, right? So master user has the all the access of the whole environment of the whole operating system, and the system user is the user which has been which has been taken up by the system from the outside, from the outsource, by outsourcing it, right? Let us suppose any particular if we put any application, or we install any application in our system, we get the system related data from that, right? So in that way we can get that, right? So yes, it happens like that. And yes, the home, I have told user related data, the local use user, which is we already know in C also we can create a local user which doesn't has all the access to operate the particular computer, right? All the rights. There is called a var. Okay, which contains the server related data. There is one more partition that is there, which is usr. Okay, that contains the um, basically the software related data, the installed software, or binary codes and binary system. Okay, binary files. Okay, so usr is also an important partition which is there. Okay, and one is the swap. If it is the temporary memory, right? If there is anything which is which is more than the system can hold. Okay, which is in more uh, which is greater in size, which a system can hold, then the system provide that particular the exceeding size to a swap memory. Okay, it stores for some time for the swap memory. So for that, we have different partition called swap, right, in Linux. Basically, these are the different partitions that we have in Linux, right? I hope it is clear to you all. So let's come up to now why we need to learn Linux in DevOps, right? For operation purposes, I already told you, Linux is user friendly, not user friendly. It is command line. It has the command line interface basically. Okay, and it is organizational friendly, you can say. Okay, because it is free to use. It is open source. We can just we can modify the codes according to our needs, in Linux. So that's why um, Linux is open source and widely used in the organizations. Okay, and one more thing, uh, about this DevOps. Okay, it is basically, uh, you know uh, there was a there is a method of software development life cycle. Okay, to develop a particular software, there is a proper channel which we use. Okay, where we need to plan the thing, right? Where we need to I plan. Okay, where we need to first of all we need to just gather the information. Okay, requirement gathering. Okay, requirement gathering is there. Okay, okay, first step is requirement gathering. Then just coding, sorry, planning. Okay, in what way, how they will develop the whole software. Okay, then they code. Okay, then they test. Then the team tests the whole system. Okay, and then they used to deploy. Then they need to monitor. Okay, so these were the things which are widely used in software development life cycle. From a phase, these are the phases which a software undergoes with. Okay, in a proper development process. Okay, so there was a earlier we used to have waterfall model, and now we are having the agile methodology. Okay, so what is waterfall model was, in waterfall model, after executing a particular step, then only the user moves to the another step. Okay, so that is the main thing that was introduced in waterfall methodology. But if there is any changes that happened in the code, or if there is any version changes due to the time period, after completing one step they used to go to the another step. If they after maybe after some days there are new version upgradation changes are there, that can the organization can have. So the coder says that it is running perfectly into his system, and the deployment team says, the operation team says that it doesn't it is not working properly into their system. So maybe it is caused because of the version control system and all, right? So maybe the version of the software requires the upgradation and all. Okay, so these sort of issues they used to get in the waterfall methodology. And then the agile methodology came into picture. Okay, in which the whole process divided into small sprints, and those sprints work working people are working in different sprints at the same time, right? The deployment is happening at the same time, the coding happening at the same time, and at the same time the same person is the another person is testing the code. Okay, so they have divided the whole software development life cycle into smaller pieces in the smaller sprints, and they have, after dividing it, they are executing it in the same time. Okay, so if there is any bug comes into the whole process, they can identify it very easily, and they can modify it, and they can make it run at the end, right? They can make the product and executable at the end. Okay, so at the agile methodology came into play, right? So to it minimized the time. Okay, it increased the efficiency. Okay, and it increase the automation, and also the um, you know mm, monitor per process monitoring process. Okay, so these things got updated when the agile methodology came into existence. And the DevOps is basically nothing but it is the combination of adoption of this agile methodology into the organization. Okay, agile methodology into the organization where the development team, okay, and the operation team works together, okay, to achieve these things, okay, to reduce the time, okay, that used to take to develop a particular software to make it to the server line. Also it increase the efficiency, it increase the automation. Also by this they can easily monitor, okay, if they are working. Reduce the gap between the developer and the operation team. So DevOps is nothing of putting together the developer and the operational person, right? And they both work together to get automation, to get the efficiency, better efficiency, to get proper monitoring, and to reduce the time which used to take earlier, right? So with the help of this, it happened. Okay, and this whole culture, the the organization is adopting nowadays to get these things done. So DevOps is nothing but the combination of developer team and operation team coming together and using the agile methodologies to work in a better way possible, or in the best way possible, okay, to get the result, to get the desired result and outcomes. Okay, so this is all for today. So basically, these are all the theoretical topics that I have introduced for DevOps. Okay, and tomorrow we'll be talking about some installation, and we'll deep diver we'll dive deeper into the field of Linux. Then we'll go into Linux, Ansible, different tools which are there in the Docker, Kubernetes, and we'll see Git, GitHub, right? We'll check AWS, different tools which are important for the automation, for the their I mean, for the organization, okay, for the automation purposes, to to make the whole this operation task easy, this DevOps task easy. We'll learn these tools, and yes, we'll learn the Python programming also, which is actually important, which can be you can also learn the shell scripting. We'll include that also. So which is actually important in the pathway of to learning, in the learning pathway of DevOps. We'll be taking that tool also. So everything one by one will cover. Okay, tomorrow I'll be coming up the video with installation, and the hypervisor, how we can install hypervisor, by which we can create the virtual machines inside our system. And we can create a virtual machine of Linux inside the operating system, which is Windows. In my operating system is Windows, and I will show you that how I am creating the how I am dividing my configuration of this Windows operating system, and providing it to Linux operating system with the help of hypervisor. So tomorrow we'll be doing the installation all part. So today everything which I have discussed is very much important, which it is the prerequisite actually. You need to be very much familiar how it how this culture came into market, how these things work together. You need to know how theoretically you need to have the understanding, that by just we we cannot directly just deep dive into Linux and all, the command lines and all. We need to understand why we need to learn Linux, why we are why we have different separate partitions in Linux, why, what is the use of using Linux in organizations, how it developed from time to time. So yes, how it put its impact into the software development life cycle. So all these things are very much important. So that I have discussed today. So yes, I hope you have enjoyed this video and you have learned something from this. And this is the day one of 90 days DevOps learning challenge. And yes, tomorrow we'll be meetings tomorrow with another video. And see you. Bye bye. Have a good day. Take care. And yes, sorry, subscribe and share to your friends as much as you can. I just want to just share the knowledge which I have related to this subject. Okay, I'm interested into this, so I wanted to create some proper videos, which are not available in YouTube. I haven't seen, there are some videos. Okay, I won't say that they are not good. They are very good, but I want to include something extra from myself, which I haven't seen, in many videos. There are a lot of things that can be discussed in the field of DevOps, and I want to cover all the things related to it. So that's why I'm creating the videos. Okay. Yes, and yes, it is free of cost. You can just share it to your friends. You can watch it. Okay, for your learning, it would be better. Okay. So yes, subscribe, like, and hit the bell icon, and just share. Thank you. This is Sharma ji ka, sorry, Karan. My name is Karan Sharma, and it is my name is Karan Sharma, and the channel name is Sharma ji ka beta. Okay, so subscribe it. Thank you.